my channel. It's always an awesome privilege and my pleasure to be here with you on this my channel, on this new episode on Lighten the Mind. Once again, you are welcome to my channel. On today's episode, we're going to be having an important topic on the table, which I introduced from my previous video when I made mention of my name and my accomplishments lacking the capacity to describe my personality. And that's what we're going to be talking about, because you agree with me, there is almost nothing you can do without identity. That is who you are. So stay tuned with me as we enjoy this beautiful ride. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about who I am. Who are you? So if I ask you the question now, who are you? What would you answer? I know the first thing you're going to tell me is my name is so and so. I graduated from so and so, or attended so and so college. I'm from a family of this, I'm from a family of that. Now don't get me wrong, these are all part of who you are, but the real you is the you that is inside. I don't know if you understand that. That I'm trying to say that the real you is inside of you. Okay, so the major point here is you need to find out who you are beyond your name and accomplishment. I got my own definition when I understood from the book of Jeremiah when God was speaking to Jeremiah. He said, before I knew you, before I formed thee, I ordained thee to be a prophet to the nation. So you can imagine, his parents probably didn't think of his coming. His parents did not think, okay, maybe the parents had never been married by then, but God said, before I formed thee, I knew you already. So you can imagine. Now for me, I pick my identity from my source. I take my identity from my source. And that made me to understand that beyond my name, beyond my accomplishment, or before I knew my name, before I could even accomplish what I'm doing right now, I was. That is, there is a core of me there. Like there is something that God has prepared, has planned for me already. So I want to give you some few points of who you are. Now I'm not trying to define who you are, I'm just trying to give you some few points that help me to understand my personality. And first off here is, who you are is what God created you to be before you knew you. Like before you knew you were going to come, that particular person God created, that particular core that God put inside of you even before he created you. Okay, the second point here is you are who you are on the inside. And you will agree with me that it is whatever is on the inside that reflects outside. So more like your outside is a reflection of your inside. So you need to get to know who you are on the inside first before you can reflect it on the outside. And I need you to understand more than your name, more than your accomplishments is what God has put inside of you. And that brings me to my third point. Who you are is what God had in mind even before he created you. God did not create you just to fill space. He created you because there is a need that he wants you to meet. And that's what brings me to the fourth point. God created you to meet a need. There are some divine deposits inside you, divine composition inside you, that you were made to be a solution provider, to be an answer to many questions in your world. God created you to meet a need. He didn't just say, okay, let me just create this one, later I'll find out what this person is going to become. No, he made you because already there is a need that needs to be met in the world. So he created you. So it is your duty now to find out this person that you are, because it takes a whole long process of becoming. Okay, it takes a very long process. And note that if you do not know who you are, then the world is going to tell you who you are not. And trust me, you believe them, because you do not even have the slightest idea of who you are. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody can define you except you. Now, the reason why people sometimes, it feels like they are saying this, they are saying that about this person, but it seems like it's not disturbed. Reason is, he know who he is. She knows who she is. So whether you say good, you say bad, it doesn't concern her. She knows where she's headed. She knows where she wants to go to. She knows who she is beyond her name, beyond her accomplishments, beyond knowing what she can do. She knows her source. That's the only thing that is able to keep you even when the whole world is tearing you down. Now, another point I want you to note is that who you are is your natural wiring, your natural strength, your natural enablement. You know, that divine enablement that has been put inside of you, something you can do without stress. Even if they wake you up in the morning, you are just good to go. But there is always a place for development. So who you are is that core of you that whether you are paid for it, whether you are not paid for it, you just derive joy in doing it. Now, why I said that is because I capped it all in this sentence. Who you are is a gift to the world. Now, someone will ask me, what do you mean by who I am a gift to the world? Now, when you find out who you are, you discover that it is not for yourself but for others. Like, you are giving out things to people. You know, giving out things to people is giving gifts to them. You're not expecting anything in return. You just keep giving and giving and giving. And that brings me to the next point, that who you are is not for your benefit but for the benefit of others. Now, I'll take examples from scriptures. Now, I'm bringing it to our contemporary time. You can see from the life of, let's start from the very beginning now. From the life of Moses, he was supposed to be a deliverer, or he was a deliverer to the children of Israel, not to himself, but to the children of Israel. You can see Jeremiah, he was called to be a prophet, but not to himself, but to a certain people. Jesus Christ, he was born to be a Messiah, a Savior, not to himself, but for you and I. So the apostles were called to be apostles, not for themselves, but for you and I. So whatever it is God has placed in your hand, it is a gift for others, not for your own self. It is not for your own benefiting. Your benefiting there is a satisfaction. And knowing who you are gives you some of these points. Let me quickly mention them. It gives you satisfaction. It gives you a sense of focus. It gives you a sense of responsibility. It gives you this fulfillment. It gives you peace. It gives you contentment, because you know that more than you receiving, you are actually giving out from the very depth, from the very core of your soul. I think that validates the part of the Bible that says it is more blessed to give than to receive. So from all this that I've said, I really would love you to sit down and really think of who you are. Who you are. It is very, very important, because if you lose your identity, then you lose everything. You lose everything. So before you find out who you are, you need to get back to your source. You need to get back to your source, because you agree with me, as a creation. For instance, let me use our manufacturer and then our the tools they manufacture. You just get a new refrigerator, you need to go through the manual to know how to use it. You get a new sewing machine, you get whatever it is, you need to go through the manual to be able to use it, so you do not spoil it, you do not damage it. It's the same thing that goes to us. God is our creator. He is our source. Whether you like it or not, you are a creature of His. He created you. So you need to go back to Him to be able to find out, okay, you created me. I need the manual for my life. What is it? What did you put into me? What are those unique wirings that you put into me? What are those things that I'm unique that I have uniquely inside of me? Because you will agree with me that despite everybody is doing the same thing, there is one unique thing about you. It could be the way you present it, it could be the way you handle it, different. You just need to find out what is the unique wiring God has put inside of you for the benefit of mankind. What is it He has put inside of you to distinguish you from the rest of the world? You need this if you want to find fulfillment, if you want to thrive beyond where you are. Many of us are struggling where we are right now because we do not know where we are, who we are. If we know who we are, then we are going to thrive in the place that we are supposed to be. So there is a place for knowing who you are and then finding where you ought to be so that you can thrive maximally. You will agree with me that if a purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. That is the word of Miles Monroe of blessed memory. So you need to know who you are if you must maximize your potential, if you must maximize every single potential that God has put inside of you. So I will urge you today, I will encourage you today, and I believe that light has come into your mind. I believe that we have really really shifted something inside of you, and I trust that you will go back and have a rethink. You will go back and evaluate your life very well, knowing what you are supposed to be doing now, knowing your source and knowing who you are. It will be my greatest fulfillment to see you thriving in what God has destined you to be. So I'll stay back and I'll listen to your comments, for as many who are going to be asking questions, for as many who are going to be, sharing some lights, sharing some thoughts, what they think, their own opinions and all that. And please do not forget to like, share and subscribe. It has been an awesome time here, and I trust that you were blessed.